And it's festive time in Pakistan, but not everyone seems to be in the mood to celebrate. Ramadan is just around the corner, but people are feeling the pinch due to the rising prices of everyday commodities that people need during the time that they fast. The prices are through the roof. Inflation is on a decade's high, and the Pakistani people are struggling to purchase even basic essential commodities. The cash-strapped South Asian nation is still awaiting a bailout of about $1.1 billion American dollars, and on top of the economic woes, the political standoff between the supporters of ex-Prime Minister Imran Khan and the security forces has been spoiling Pakistan's overall situation. A French journalist and also a US aid worker who had been kidnapped by terrorists in the North African region of Sahel have been released. The French freelancer Olivier Dubois had been kidnapped in Mali in 2021. American aid worker Jeffrey Utke had gone missing in Niger in 2016 when he was seized at gunpoint from his home in Abalak in Niger. The Niger's interior minister had told journalists that the two men had in fact been held captive by JNIM, a West Africa-based affiliate of Al-Qaeda. The circumstances of the two men's release have not been made clear. And Venezuela's president has accepted the resignation of the country's powerful oil minister amidst a corruption probe that's been focused on the state-run oil company called PDVSA. The president did not immediately name a replacement for the oil minister, who had served as the vice president as well and also as a minister and as a mayor over the past 2 decades. The oil minister is also under US sanctions for alleged connections to drug trafficking. The anti-graft police has also arrested a mayor, 2 judges and 3 high-level government officials, along with at least about 20 lower-level officials at the PDVSA. After the International Monetary Fund approved a bailout worth nearly about $3 billion for the crisis-hit Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe has said that his country is no longer a bankrupt nation. Supporters of Wickremesinghe in fact set off fireworks in the streets of Colombo to celebrate the IMF's bailout approval. Sri Lanka will get the first $330 million tranche of the bailout in the next 2 days. Economic mismanagement coupled with the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic had tipped the island nation's worst financial crisis in nearly about 7 decades. And China markets rose following an overnight relief rally on Wall Street as hopes grew that the banking crisis may be easing after a UBS group announced a state-backed $3.2 billion takeover of Credit Suisse. Though the investors remain concerned about the banking sector after the collapse of 2 mid-sized US lenders and also the rescue of European giant Credit Suisse. Now, in response to the Swiss bank crisis, regulators have now stepped in to reassure the investors, leading to a band-aid rally in Asia-Pacific stocks. And Germany's Minister of Education and Research, Bettina Stark-Watzinger, visited Taiwan to strengthen ties between Germany and the autonomously governed island of Taiwan. Now, this is the first time that a German minister has in fact visited Taiwan in over 26 years, and according to reports, cooperation with Taiwan will focus on semiconductors, hydrogen research and development, as well as bolstering the exchange of skilled labor between the two nations. The Stark-Watzinger told reporters that the visit was in fact purely a technical one and does not represent Germany's diplomatic approach to China.
Also wir haben die China-Strategie, dass das heute wirklich.
And ahead of a possible historic indictment of Donald Trump or hush money that was paid to a porn actress called Stormy Daniels, the New York police have now tightened security Donald Trump was seeking the Republican nomination for the White House to run for the presidency again in 2024, has now predicted that he could be arrested today. On Saturday, Donald Trump had in fact urged his followers on social media to protest what he described would be a looming arrest of him. In his call for protest, Donald Trump raised concern that his supporters must in fact take to the streets, but this of course has raised concerns that his supporters may engage in violence, as was witnessed on the 6th of January back in 2022 at the US Capitol. The Trump has refuted claims that have been made by Stormy Daniels that she had a long consensual affair with him, but Donald Trump says that no such thing happened between them. Now, Stormy Daniels also claims that the former American president paid her through his agents a sum of $130,000 before he ran for his presidential campaigns to ensure that she would not go to the media with the scandalous affair that she claims she had with Trump. The Macron government has narrowly survived 2 votes of no confidence, which was triggered when it forced through an increase in the pension age from 62 to 64. This is coming as the protests in France seem not dying down anytime soon. The outcome comes as a big sigh of relief for the Emmanuel Macron government, which is facing all kinds of problems because of its flawed policies. The spontaneous demonstrations erupted in the centre of Paris, with protesters setting fire to many garbage bins which have been piling up because the garbage workers are on a strike in France. The police and the locals also ended up clashing as the police finally resorted to using tear gas and bait and charge the protesters to drive them off from the streets. Meanwhile, American President Joe Biden has signed a bill requiring a declassification of information. The bill is related to the origins of the COVID-19 infection. The American president has said that he shares the Congress's goal of releasing as much information as possible about the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic. The bill, in fact, sailed through the Senate and the House of Representatives, and the COVID-19 outbreak began in 2019 in the eastern Chinese city of Wuhan, leading to almost about 7 million deaths worldwide so far. The United States has also registered close to about 1 million deaths linked to COVID-19. A drug-resistant and potentially deadly fungus has been detected in the United States of America that's been spreading pretty rapidly. The infection reportedly has a mortality rate of 60% and has now spread to over 35 states in the United States and to over 40 countries worldwide. The cases of Candida auris were first discovered in Japan about 15 years ago, but they now skyrocketed in just the last few years, especially in the United States. The swift spread of this fungus is said to have promoted the Center for Disease Control and World Health Organization to label it as a growing threat that people should be aware of. But a day after the Chinese leader Xi Jinping met with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Moscow, and now Fumio Kishida is making a surprise trip to Ukraine to meet with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and to offer solidarity and unwavering support. His trip is the first time that a Japanese Prime Minister has visited a country or a region with the ongoing battle since the end of the Second World War. A United States amphibious assault warship has been docked in Manila for a 4-day goodwill visit to the Philippines. The USS America Commanding Officer Captain Shockey Snyder reported having seen some Chinese vessels in the South China Sea on the way to Manila. Reportedly, the commanding officer had a safe and a professional interaction with the Chinese ship. And this visit comes just months after the Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. had granted the United States access to 4 military bases in the Philippines, on top of the 5 existing locations under the 2014 agreement. The tens of thousands of workers in the Los Angeles Unified School District plan to organize a 3-day walk of the job strike. The workers are demanding for better wages and also increased staffing. United Teachers Los Angeles, a union representing 35,000 educators, counselors, nurses and other staff. They've expressed solidarity with their striking co-workers affecting America's second-largest school system. Demonstrations are also planned by members of the Service Employees International Union. And this adds about 30,000 teachers' aides, special education assistants, bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria workers and other support staff to the strike. A church in New Jersey was engulfed in massive flames which virtually burnt the church down to the ground. According to local media reports, more than 100 firefighters and emergency personnel battled the fire. Dark plumes of smoke were seen rising from several miles around after the fire erupted in the evening. The local pastor has expressed that it was a devastating loss for the community and is informed that the crews were still attempting to try and save the attached school building. However, there have been no immediate reports of any injuries and it is not clear as to what actually resulted in such a massive blaze. Amazon has announced that it will be axing another 9,000 roles, totaling up to 27,000 job cuts in recent months. In the face of a possible recession, the CEO has said that this decision stems from the ongoing analysis of priorities and uncertainty about the economy. The prior cuts had focused on the company's e-commerce and device businesses as well as human resources staff. However, the company would now be eliminating roles from Amazon Web Services, its advertising and Twitch streaming units. A student opened fire in a Dallas area school, killing one other student and injuring another before he was arrested on a capital murder charge. The school shooting took place in the early hours of the morning before many students had arrived for the first day back to classes after the spring break. The Arlington Police Chief Al Jones said that a male student who was shot died at a hospital and a female victim was receiving medical care after being grazed by shrapnel. The police chief has declined to identify the suspected shooter because he is said to be a minor, but has said that he is being held at a juvenile detention center in the area.